Mr. Klayman, a valued friend shared a letter with me written to him by you and your Freedom Watch. This letter was an attempt to solicit funds for your pending lawsuit regarding Obama's attempt to bribe Representative Joe Sustak. I take it upon myself and my personal responsibility as an American to expose you as the traitor, liar, and parasite that you are, and hopefully warn others that might be a victim of your scam. The first thing you mention is how the left-leaning media has hushed the shocking scandal. However, if one really were want to get this story out, all you would have to do is call up Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity. They're not leaning to the left. Additionally, this proves that not only the left-leaning media, but the right-leaning media is protecting imposter, illegal alien Barry Soetoro, a.k.a. Barack Obama. But the topic of your letter alone screams out to the alert American public just how absurd your request for funding is. When you consider that Obama now claims the right to imprison American citizens, and he claims the right to assassinate American citizens. No trial, no judge, no jury, no probable cause, no due process, just a bullet at his discretion. But here comes Washington lawyer and insider Larry Klayman in Freedom Watch to save the day by exposing this bribery scandal. It's absurd.
New claim of presidential power that is not afforded by the Constitution and that has never been attempted in American history, even by George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. Remarkably, President Obama today made both of those speeches simultaneously. Standing inside the National Archives in front of the actual original Constitution, President Obama delivered a blistering critique of the Bush administration, in which he called their actions and their legacy literally a mess.
Our government made a series of hasty decisions. Poorly planned, haphazard approach. Too often, we set those principles aside as luxuries that we could no longer afford. Our government made decisions based on fear rather than foresight. The decisions that were made over the last 8 years established an ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism that was neither effective nor sustainable.
Then, moments later, he announced his own. President Obama today proposed something new. Something called prolonged detention.
Al-Qaeda terrorists and their affiliates are at war with the United States, and those that we capture, like other prisoners of war, must be prevented from attacking us again.
And then on page 2, paragraph 1 of your letter, you mention that, quote, I've got it on good authority that such corruption is business as usual for this outlaw regime, unquote. So what about W. Bush's lawless regime? Or what about Clinton's lawless regime? Or H.W.'s lawless regime? I'd like to know why you're not going after all of them. I think by now a couple 100 million other Americans would like to know also, Mr. Klayman. And then, on page 2, paragraph 3, you point out how the American people, quote, absolutely will not tolerate such lawlessness for political gain, unquote. You must be kidding. You must be the stupidest lawyer on the planet. No wonder you have to solicit money through political circulation. You probably can't get a job as a damn lawyer. Any informed American knows that the Justice Department, the Attorney General's office, and all the intelligence agencies and investigative agencies are sewn up and held in check. So to claim that you're going after Obama for this bribery scandal is quite literally an insult to any American that you're trying to solicit money from. And then, additionally, you go on to say how he will get away with sweeping this ugly matter under the political rug unless my friend were to act. And of course, acting means sending you money so that you can expose this and keep Obama from sweeping it under the rug. Well, in case you hadn't noticed, dumbass, they swept the bailouts under the rug, which was nothing more than the biggest ripoff in American history, superseding even the manipulated 1929 stock market crash, and they're still trying to sweep 9/11 under the rug. Then you point out Eric Holder's poor track record of, quote, not prosecuting Democrats and liberals, unquote. So please do tell me, Mr. Klayman, what conservatives or Republicans has he attempted to prosecute, such as the Bush administration for their lies leading to the Iraq War, the lies regarding 9/11, all of the above? Why hasn't he gone after Bush Sr. for his involvement in the Kennedy assassination, or for the fact that one of his henchmen, Hinckley, was responsible for the attempted assassination on Reagan? Why isn't he going after this piece of walking excrement who authored the Patriot Act before 9/11? Or Slimeballstein for the $2.5 billion insurance policy taken out 6 weeks before the attacks? And why is he not going after Buzzy Kromgard, whose A.B. Brown took most of the put options on the airlines and the Boeing and the financial institutions in the World Trade Center before 9/11? Personal, political, and financial gain, mass murder. Why aren't you going after them, Mr. Klayman? And why isn't Holder going after them? And then in paragraph 2, on page 3, you point out, quote, "Make no mistake, the main goal of Freedom Watch's lawsuit is to the House Ethics Committee isn't to punish suspect, it's to force testimony that will bring an honest investigation that will bring the truth to light. If all Americans knew the truth, you and your co-conspirators would be running from lynch mobs. Make no mistake, there's many Americans that are trying to expose the truth." But even the most bullshit-fed mushroom closet dweller of an American is becoming aware of just how the treason is tied together between the financial institutions, the intelligence and the military-industrial complex, Congress, the presidential administrations. Congress doesn't work for you or me. You know that, though, because you're a lawyer and an insider. Now, as a Washington lawyer and insider, I'm certain you know what that gold-fringed flag signifies. But you're not about to tell the American people about that. You're not about to tell them who's really screwing them over, are you, Mr. Klayman? But you're going to wrap yourself in that cloak of false patriotism and claim that you need help in America's time of great peril. And finally, what would a political solicitation letter be without the old reference to the Islamic terrorist? So I'm wondering, you must be talking about the Islamic terrorists that were able to defeat airline and airport security, crew and passengers of 4 airliners, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, NORAD, the U.S. Air Force, and every other alphabet soup acronym government agency, and successfully attacked the United States on September 11th. You must be talking about the Islamic terrorists that could make 4 jumbo jets disappear after flying them at more than 100 knots above their design limitations where the wings will fall off in straight and level flight. You must be talking about those Islamic terrorists that were able to make the Empire State Building take a 3-block stroll through lower Manhattan. You must be talking about those Islamic terrorists that were able to make the Verrazano Bridge caissons take a ferry boat ride down the Hudson. You must be talking about those Islamic terrorists who couldn't fly a Cessna, yet Hani Hanjour in particular made a 270-degree, 7,000-foot descending turn at 5 to 6, maybe even 7 Gs before a last-second level off and striking the ground floor of the Pentagon. And he did this amazing feat of airmanship more than 140 knots above where this plane can fly straight and level without complete and total structural failure. Incidentally, to fly at those speeds at those altitudes, that means that aircraft could fly supersonic at cruising altitude. It's quite laughable, Mr. Klayman. But then, Hani Hanjour dons his magician's cape and is able to make 140 tons of wreckage, the remains of the passengers, and the other contents of the aircraft disappear. He truly is a multi-talented individual. And then, you must be talking about the Islamic terrorists that returned from the afterlife to profess their innocence, or were able to make the laws of physics take the day off. It doesn't matter how many lies you and the mainstream media try to spin about 9/11, America is coming to the truth. So why aren't you going after Obama for appointing former head of North American Israeli Mossad as his chief of staff? Yes, Rahm Emanuel and Jane Harmon were caught red-handed passing F-22 secrets to Israel. Why aren't you exposing Obama for his membership in the homosexual butt club of Man's Country in Chicago? Why aren't you going after Obama for not being born in the U.S., being born in Kenya, and of Indonesian citizenship? Why aren't you going after Kagan for her role in blocking the 9/11 investigation and the lawsuit against the Saudis? You see, you're not going to do anything of any significance. You're going to sit down in your wet spot and do exactly as you're told, traitor, by your puppet masters.
I have 2 words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
No, he's not joking, and he does have target lists of Americans for assassination. So while thousands of U.S. soldiers continue to come home in flag-draped coffins, and countless men, women, and children of the world are being perpetually bombed by Predator drone strikes, depleted uranium, and white phosphorus, all based on a mountain of lies going back for decades. You claim that it's raining the whole while you're pissing down the backs of struggling Americans who want nothing more than to save their freedom and their republic. And how dare you say you speak for me and my countrymen when it's quite clear by your actions and your statements in this pathetic attempt at soliciting funds that you're part of the cabal and the enemy within. So now that you've been exposed as the traitor, the liar, and the accomplice, and political and financial profiteer of mass murder, can you feel that corner getting a little closer to your back, Mr. Klayman? Because our numbers are growing. Justice will be done. We're coming for you.